Welcome back to the passenger seat, everybody. We pick up the adventure from the last episode, up here in the very remote northwestern Namibia, in April 2020, where we are trying to get to the only town in the area to stock up on some desperately needed fuel and food, and to find out what was happening in the rest of the planet, seen as a huge event was unravelling the world as we knew it. But as usual, a few obstacles were in our way, of the kind that weren't always able to be overcome. Oh, that's not looking good, eh? No, we just got a big pool of mud. There's no going crossing there. A flash flood like the one I'd encountered a week earlier had been through recently, so all we could do was to explore a little bit and see if there was a safer crossing point somewhere else. We just need a rocky surface and an on-off, an easy in and easy out. So that's where we are with this flashing dot here, and we're trying to cross the river here. And in theory we got another one there, or at least two more, and then we can get on the good road. It's rocky, alright, I'll give it that. Let's go and have a look. That's pretty rocky, nice and hard, so people are going across here. I'm not worried about this at all. That's quite good rocky terrain. I'm just worried about the other end, really, if we can get out. Absolutely beautiful riverbed though. Lots of interesting things. Yeah, just nice trees, water, mountains. The water's nice and warm. It's like the swimming time. Okay, so this is a bit muddy here. It's nothing too bad. Seems nice and hard. Just soft sand. This is a bit that I worry about. Yeah, that's a bit soft. That's a bit soft. It's quite soft. I think we can do this okay. We're just going to come straight across here. It's a little bit of sandy with a bit of speed. And this is straight rock through to that little sandbar over there. And then on the far side, we get across. It all looked pretty easy. But again, it's nice to have a walk whenever an excuse presents itself, as it is one of the big drawbacks of overland travel in a vehicle, that you spend a lot of time sitting, and exercise is hard to come by amongst the long distances to be driven, the pulsating sun and heat during the day, and the likelihood of a leopard dropping out of a tree onto your shoulder for a friendly chat about geopolitics if you walk about at night. I'm not kidding, only part of that is a joke. Right, even getting there is a bit scary. Alright, so we're going to line her up. Okay, death or glory, here we go. That'll work out. Okay, down that bit, crawl over these rocks as gently as possible. And most people seem to have made a running jump for it over here, so let's just scream in as fast as we can. There we go, and then we're up onto a plateau. And we're okay. Alright, well, it was death or glory, and glory won through, so well done to Mighty Landy. Yeah, I'm tempted to have a swim, I must admit. But let's maybe get to the other crossing. Get all the crossings done today. That seems to be the priority, eh? It's the middle of the day and it's stinking hot, stinking hot, stinking hot. It's the middle of the day and it's stinking hot, and I'm also singing to myself very badly. going slightly mental in the heat, but enjoying it. So let's get on to Ucho, which is, I don't know, 10 kilometers or so. Check out the swimming potential on the Namibian Riviera. I'm guessing it's more of a scruffy but friendly Himba village with lots of broken glass everywhere. Who knows, I might even, still, I've got the most popular mobile phone service in the world. I drove around across Australia twice last year, and majority of the time I used a company called No Service, and I see it's very popular in Namibia as well. I've been using that company for the last couple of weeks. Very good, very cheap. Coming into the edge of Ucho, there's a few houses, and it's interesting to see a bit of corrugated iron rather than the traditional Himba animal hide. I don't really need it, except someone sort of offered me a job, and I'm trying to conclude negotiations and sort of interviews and stuff. That's one of the reasons that I stayed in Puros for 11 days, is I was sort of waiting for them to sort something out and make a plan and something happen. And I can understand why it didn't. It's fine. It's just things take a while and then they tend to fall into place usually. But I got a bit frustrated, and I really want to do that run up north. So yeah, hopefully in the next few days I need to find somewhere to stay with some sort of phone signal so I can at least communicate. So yeah, you may lose yours truly back to the corporate world. There's a chance that, if I take up the opportunity, I'll need to find a fancy lodge with good internet and be sort of working, I'm guessing, late afternoon into the evenings most days to coincide with the company until I can move after somewhere. If we ever get out of Kona, we could be crooning for a year. I wonder if I'd go as mad as all of you are at home if I had to spend a year in the very northwest of Namibia with the occasional 2G network. And by the way, this is my shopping run. From Oropendi, this road basically, from Oropendi to here, and only halfway there, would be my shopping run every time I needed to buy groceries. So it'd be a monthly occurrence at most. So yes, we'll see what happens. It sounds like a good opportunity, could be interesting. It's a bit more like Australia in some places. When I see the red dirt, I just think of Australia. A lot less flies though, which is nice. Except those moisture bees, they were bad. Riverbed. Go all the way to a pole. Comes a messy bit. Oh, sorry. Gear changes and then probably did on the second gear and powering to the top. Something I must have done. Didn't exactly power, did I? Dribbled to the top. Something I must have done about 5,000 times in Africa. Oh yeah, it looks nice and rocky over there. It's just on the far side I'd worry about more than anything. Quite deep. Okay, the second bit. Bloody hell. That looks moddy. What we might do is a bit of just lock for this one. Now we're just going to go for it, eh? No worries. 2 down, 1 river crossing to go for the day, and luckily fortune was favouring us as we avoided any more flash floods, and the third crossing proved to be just a bit of harmless water fun. Given the width of the riverbed, I can imagine in full flow it would be an amazing and slightly scary sight. Certainly this fine-looking chap seemed happy to be across the last of them for the day without incident. I can't imagine why. It's nice with the water, but you know that it only comes in sort of torrents, then dribbles out for a few more days and then another torrent, so it's not like a constant flow, so it's hard to enjoy the river because you're not quite sure what's going to happen next. You can't count on it. So I've seen a sign, turn off for a campsite. It's supposed to be very basic, but that's fine. I just need somewhere to crash for the rest of the afternoon, and that suits me well. I'm right on the edge of the so-called upgraded road, which I think we've been on anyway, to Apua, which isn't a million miles away. You know, it's probably a couple of hours in the morning, so I could be there at 10 in the morning, which would be good. Driving up here, I was starting to get a bit apprehensive now that I was on the edge of semi-civilization. 2 separate guys had yelled at me aggressively in the last village before I turned off, seemingly as they'd seen my foreign license plate and assumed the worst. All foreigners were to blame for what they were hearing. Would the campsite allow me to stay? Would it be closed like the last one? What was it going to be like in town tomorrow? And we get there and the gate looks very, very closed. Okie dokie. Maybe the gate's to keep animals out rather than us. Let's see. It's kind of normal in these remote areas to let yourself in and catch up with the owners when they have time, as nobody hangs around all day on the off chance that some campers might turn up. Sadly, it seemed the campsite had washed away in a flood at some point, so it wasn't a very welcoming sight on arrival. This is the normal river that the campsite has, and it'd be quite nice if there's a little bit of water flowing through that. The trouble is that it's been up to this level where you can see the white stone over in the background, and it's taken out the whole entire campsite as a result. You know, it's just come through and ripped their toilet and shower block to pieces. This is just like a family in the countryside who's trying to put together a campsite, you know, trying to move forward in life, make money, and yeah, sort of rips everything apart, eh? Anyway, I'll stay and just camp where I am. If they turn up, I'll give them some money. Hopefully they don't turn up and say I can't stay. So I'll feel pretty bad to be rejected by this campsite. Landy's had a good clean underneath from that water, so she's looking pretty good. Just had a lovely hour to myself. It's very quiet, nothing's happening. Just been reading books and having a cold drink. Not sure if the owners are going to turn up. I hope they do. It's you know, it's only 50 Namibian dollars apparently. It's £2, and they need to rebuild. It's a bit of a bomb shelter at the moment, unfortunately. I'm guessing this is the water hole. Pump it over to the shower. Either way, hopefully I can have a nice, relaxing, quiet night, and we'll hit Opua early-ish tomorrow. It's about 85 kilometres, so it'll take sort of maybe 2 hours if the road's okay. I always take it slow on the gravel roads. And then yeah, Friday there, I'll see what reaction I get, see what if there's any checkpoints or police or anything. I need to do some shopping. I've literally got 1 apple and 1 pepper left in the fridge, which will do for tonight. And wouldn't mind getting a few mechanical things looked at. I might have a chat to the tyre place if they're open. But generally it's the last point of civilization. And then I'm thinking we'll head up to Ipupa Falls. I've been there a couple of times before, but always during the dry season. So this time it's kind of the end of the rainy season, but I think the Kanuni River will be quite big. So I think it'd be quite nice to see it, seeing as we had a disappointment with the Kanuni at the end of Marion Floos. I'm guessing the campsites there are always also going to be closed and shut, but anyway, we'll have a look. And then if the road is good, we will follow that along the Kanuni River to Ruakana. So that's the vague plan at the moment. So we can go up to Apowo, up to Ipupa Falls, maybe follow the border. I've heard that maybe it's not possible. I've done that road and it goes like this. And so if the rivers are running, they're all going to be flooded. And yeah, we'll come back down and go into Etosha. Etosha's a national park, by the way. So we might actually get to see some animals and do some proper photography. We certainly do. We end up spending 4 months there alone, without any other visitors 99% of the time. A very unique and really magical experience. Please subscribe so you don't miss it in the next series. And kindly consider becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon supporter, so I can spend the many months needed to edit all of the footage. It will be a truly epic series, but medium to long term, the channel needs to be mostly viewer supported. So not only will you be enabling the continuation of these films, you'll also be able to see a lot of additional and behind the scenes footage and other interesting benefits, believe me. So thanks in advance if you're kind enough to sign up. I really need it. So that's what my thinking is at the moment. We might get arrested tomorrow as being a vagabond tourist travelling around. I don't believe that's what the law was when we left a week ago, but who knows what's happened since. These are the 3 things that I travel with that keep fresh the longest, I find. That pepper, although it looks a little bit wrinkled, is now over 3 weeks old and still eatable. The onion, well, it's the same, 3 weeks old, and the apple, 3 weeks old as well, and still juicy and crunchy. The pepper and apple I keep in my fridge. The apples take up, I find, not too much space. Juicy, cold apple when it's boiling hot is pretty good in the desert. The peppers, well, they're kind of big, they're kind of bulky, but you can eat them raw. Yeah, that's what I carry, just in case you're wondering. Apples, onions, and peppers. I certainly hope this wind pipes down, because I've got all these palm trees around me and they're not trimmed, if you like. The old leaves are just hanging there, you know, delicately. They'll fall off at some point. There's a lot on the ground. But every time there's a gust of wind, they all... it's like a bunch of witches all cackling away. Yeah, and heck of a road. I thought I'd be in Opua. Well, I guess technically I could have been there this evening. But I was expecting sort of 3 or 4 hours, not 8 or 9 hours. But yeah, beautiful road, well graded. Well done to the people that graded that. That's hard work on some of those mountain sections. Tomorrow, there's nothing really holding me back. Have a quick breakfast, and it's about 80k, so a couple of hours into Opua. Might be there for the shop opening. And yeah, a bit nervous about that. Not sure what the situation is in Namibia. What I'm allowed to do and what I'm supposed to be doing, and clearly they've closed all the campsites and everything. Well, they seem to have, which means they don't want you travelling around, I guess. But then what are you supposed to do if you're a tourist, because you got nowhere to go? Like literally, if they shut every tourism facility, you're just supposed to camp in the bush for 3 months. It doesn't quite make any sense. Well, it does, but you know, I don't think they probably realise there's a very small number of us here. Alright, enough rambling. I'm going to get better at these. I need to think about what I'm going to say beforehand. Have a few goes at it. Say it quicker. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'm onto it. It's just hard. I'm literally covered in horrendous sweat from 8 this morning. I'm a bit dehydrated. Just ate the biggest meal I've had in a couple of weeks, actually, I think. And feeling a bit sleepy. But I'm just trying to keep the story going. I don't really like it when there's huge gaps and then you just sort of glaze over half a day with a couple of sentences. The idea is to show you what it's really like to do this. and for me to actually have someone to talk to as well. Normally I'd never say a word all day. Literally, you know, I haven't spoken to anyone all day, haven't seen anyone, so by having a camera it gives me an outlet. You know, we are social creatures. If we don't have someone to talk to, we start inventing conversations in my head. They're often the better ones that I have, but anyway. So bear with me, I'll get better. It's just I feel the need to say something, but then sort of just the tiredness, the dehydration, the hot, the heat, everything, it robs you of that ability to be sharp and concise. So what I'm finding is I have to say it 4 or 5 times, but then the spontaneity is gone of, you know, the emotion that I was trying to convey. But anyway, we'll get there. It's practice. This is what this whole first series is about, getting the camera work better and my presentation. Oh, it's just me and the palm trees and a setting sun. So it's getting dark, very little chance of anyone coming, and so I use my pump and water filter with my water tank to have a quick shower, and I thought you'd absolutely love to see this.
Righto, time for Darren's desert guide to showering. 1. Get everything important wet. 2. Turn the water off, soap up all the wet parts.
Shampoo.
3. Rinse the soap off as quickly as possible to save water. On a good day with the right sprinkler head, you'll only use 3 to 4 litres and feel really great.
Oh, singing in the rain. Oh, what a lovely day. I'll be singing in the rain. It's cold, it's cold. There you have the end result. Much cleaner and brighter. Like the flies are attracted to me straight away. You may notice I'm wearing exactly the same clothes. That's because I have been in the desert for quite a few weeks, and I don't wash clothes in the desert too much. What I tend to do is, if I have a shower like that, I do my underwear, sometimes I do my shirt. That's about it. It's not so humid, you're not sweating so much. A bit of deodorant, it's alright for a couple of days. It sounds gross, I know, but that's reality. If you want to wash clothes in the desert, you're going to have to take like literally hundreds of litres of water. For a week's clothes, at least say 30 litres of water, you know. So for 3 weeks it's sort of 90 litres, because by the time what you can do is put it in a container with a screw lid. You need at least 10-15 litres of water with some soap powder. You put it in there. When you're driving along, it shakes like a washing machine. So if you're doing a drive like today, it would have been awesome. At the end of the day, you take it out, throw the water away, but then you got to rinse it, you know, at least once to get rid of all the soap powder and all the dirt and everything. Yeah, so if you're thinking today 5 t-shirts and shorts and underwear and everything else, yeah, it's a lot of water. So it's also why I'm quite keen to find a proper campsite just once every 2 weeks. Ideally, I hate to say it, it's the first time I've ever said it, ideally one with electricity, because I've got so many batteries and camera equipment and my laptop that it'd just be nice to have electricity for a day or so to charge everything up. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy the difference. I do actually feel pretty good, actually. I have my ups and downs a little bit. You know, I am actually by myself. I'm not actually interacting with anyone. I miss people. It would be nice to talk. But if I stayed at home, I'd be in my house on my piece of land all by myself. Can't even talk to your neighbours. Mine are lovely, but you know, they're elderly. I wouldn't want to you know, be responsible for giving them, you know, it'd be terrible. So at least, you know, in a sense I'm roaming around. Right, enough rambling. The point was just to show how sexy I looked, i.e. exactly the same. Despite my best efforts in the rivers today, I didn't get much of the mud off, so I still have that sort of cool hardcore effect. Particularly the wingman. That's good Puros mud, I have to say. Look at that. That's absolutely caked on there. It's not coming off for love nor money. No, it even got up on the awning, so well done.
When your day starts at 5 a.m. and is fairly full on, the magical glow of sunset is a welcome sign that it's time to quieten down and try to rest if nature will allow you to do so. I prefer to leave the dark of night to other creatures with better vision and just crawl into the safety of my roof tent. Little did I know tonight, as I climbed up into it, watching the glow of this pretty sunset, that tomorrow another kind of darkness would profoundly change the weeks ahead. And that from the deepest darkness, you may be able to produce the strongest light.
Stop rolling the dice and just compromise. It's the chance of your life.